Are you tired of the endless advice to just be more feminine to find love? It's as if the key to a fulfilling relationship is hidden within a softer voice, a gentler touch, or even the sway of a dress. But here is the truth. This narrative isn't just oversimplified. It actually may keep you from finding soulful love. It may cause you to feel more confused and resentful, which further limits your ability to create powerful emotional connections with men. Stick around as we unravel what to focus on if you want soulful love and a secure relationship instead of trying to fit into yet another mold. One thing that happened to me is everybody told me I should become more feminine, gentler, and softer. Don't get me wrong, I don't necessarily disagree. But why am I so much against this framing? I'm talking about the advice that you should be more feminine if you want to find love. In my eyes, it's just yet another way to tell women how they should or shouldn't be, implying who they are is something wrong, and that's the problem. We all crave to be loved and accepted for who we are, right? And who are we? We are beautiful, successful, powerful, and loving women. What we have to give is something special, and it requires careful consideration. We've been hurt, betrayed, disappointed. This is why we may be a little rough around the edges, unapproachable, opposite of easygoing. But this is where your personal responsibility comes in. You need to be aware of how you may come across. Also, remember, there is another human being that also has a story and experiences that shape them. We all have these defense or survival coping skills because we don't want to hurt again, and this is all happening on an unconscious level. And now you want to find love, meet an amazing man. Everyone tells you need to be open, feminine. Perhaps you try, maybe you go and get some cute dresses, shoes, new hairstyle and makeup. You look lovely. But what happens when the guy you're dating does or says something that makes you feel insecure? For instance, he says he's not ready to be exclusive, or he expresses he's not ready to settle down. These things hit us deeply and awaken old pain that we want to keep buried. If you're like me or a lot of women I know, you immediately resort to using your old survival strategies and your defenses go up. Maybe you try to compensate for it by trying to be feminine beyond just clothing and makeup. So while you are feeling something is off, instead of addressing it, you avoid confronting him, so you never express your needs and boundaries. You hide your dissatisfaction and find your resentment growing. Your relationship becomes tense. You stop enjoying yourself and find yourself over-functioning. This means figuring out how to be, what to say, what not to say, to make this relationship work. This naturally causes tension. Of course, you feel resentful. Most likely, there is a disconnect between how you feel and how you act. The guy you may be seeing stops feeling comfortable in your company. He starts pulling away, and then someone comes and tells you that you need to be more feminine. So frustrating, isn't it? Stay with me if you want to know exactly how to overcome this, how to create genuine attraction and connection even when there are uncomfortable moments. Here is the deal. You don't attract love by trying to be someone you are not. You attract love by feeling safe to express what you need, by allowing yourself to feel worthy of the love you want, by setting boundaries and not allowing yourself to yield to mediocre treatments of people who can't make up their mind about you. This sense of security and confidence comes from a place of knowing that you will not allow yourself to invest your heart into a guy or a relationship that doesn't allow you to love fully, joyfully, securely. All this comes from you. That's when you can feel and behave in the ways that attract that amazing love. Love in which you can feel secure to drop your defenses. The way to become soft is not to pretend to be soft on the outside when everything inside you is screaming in resentment. We become soft when we shift some deep-rooted limiting beliefs that sabotage us and cause us to repeat the same unhealthy patterns in relationships. In other words, It is about learning that you got yourself, that you don't have to be a victim. You decide what kind of relationship you want, and you know you are absolutely worthy of it. You're not that little helpless girl who needs to wait and hope for a miracle. You create your own life. You go after what you want. You are the one who sets parameters of what goes and what doesn't. Remember, there are so many good men who want the same and who would be stoked to love you in the ways you need. The way we do it in the Secure Love Creator program is by enabling the healing process that connects wounded parts that still sabotage our efforts by trying to keep us safe and our higher self who wants to move on and stop repeating the same old patterns. So once you connect those wounded parts with your higher self who is capable of providing space, compassion, understanding, and guidance to the wounded parts, this is when you can feel safe to be softer and inviting. And when necessary, set boundaries, push back. That's when we can be ourselves and truly receive love we crave. When we try to be somebody else, like a soft feminine woman who is feeling unsafe inside, it's just going to cause more rewounding, re-traumatizing. Moreover, I don't know about you, but I don't want to change myself to be acceptable and loved. I want to be myself and be accepted and loved, don't you? So how do we stop the same relationship patterns that keep us from meeting and keeping the one? Here is the deal. We do need to change something, but we need a change that is healing rather than re-traumatizing, like trying to fit into a mold that somebody prescribes. When I argued with my father when I was a teen, my grandma told me that I should be humble. Back then, that sounded so outrageous to me. It was my wounded adolescent self that felt that she needed to protect her personality. I felt being humble meant that you lose yourself and become subservient to someone else. I will not go into details of where this wound came from. The word humble means something completely different for me now after working on myself and going through substantial healing. It's important for me to know and understand my adolescent self, honor her for having to defend herself, and remind her that she doesn't need to put up so many defenses. Now I know that the most self-actualized people are the most humble because they don't have to put up defenses. They feel okay with who they are and they accept others for who they are. I'm still a work in progress, but now I can be way more soft than I used to be. I still know I can use my old survival defenses if needed, but I don't need to rely solely on them. Needless to say, my relationships are much easier now. Once I understand that I'm a grown-up person and I don't have to feel my ego is threatened and I can protect myself, I can be more at ease. I can understand that being humble can be a good way to be in certain situations, especially in relationships. The most beautiful relationships involve allowing your partner to see you in a wide range of emotions. But from what I see around, so many people come from this survival coping mechanism when they are arguing with their partners, when they are dating, because they have to put up these walls because they don't want to be hurt. The work is in reminding those wounded parts that you are there to manage things and create the most beautiful relationship, not the crappy ones where you don't get your needs met. So what do you choose? Will you keep contorting yourself to fit some imaginary criteria or allow yourself to experience soulful love by being yourself? Trying to tell a woman how she should be to fit into some imaginary ideal is like trying to make yogurt into milk again. You have your specific flavor of personality and you are just fine. You can be demure and feminine when you naturally feel like it, and you can be your spicy self when a situation calls for it. Healing will help you integrate all parts of self. You know what? Here is a secret. Secure men love to see you completely. They feel safe to fall in love when they can see that you are confident to set boundaries with them. Yes, they start valuing you when they see that you value yourself and don't accept mediocre effort. They love to be with a real partner with a unique personality and not some censored version of you. That's when they can decide to love you fully. So, if you want to meet the one who will be stoked to be your man beyond just 2 months of honeymoon period, the one who wants soulful love, future together, you need to allow yourself to be seen for who you are. Your beautiful, complex, big-hearted self who doesn't settle for crappy relationships. If you want to know what it takes to meet that one wonderful man, love of your life, you are in luck, because I created a masterclass where I give you clear guidance on what it takes to become secure, meet quality men, and enjoy love in a secure forever relationship. You don't need to feel confused anymore. You can gain deep self-understanding that will give you clear guidance of what steps you need to take to develop an epic relationship. Sometimes you will naturally feel vulnerable, demure, feminine. Other times you will set your boundaries in a stern way. Both of these reactions attract the right kind of man and allow you to build genuine, secure relationships. As a grown woman, you shouldn't feel a need to go to some free forum where anyone and their mother gives you advice that may or may not help. When you do inner work, you can be grounded into who you are, in what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And that's when you find a partner that appreciates you exactly the way you are. You can be feminine, strong, and at the same time be able to repair automobiles. None of that is relevant. Secure men don't want just women who are demure and ultra feminine. Not that something is wrong with them. They may like those women too, but they don't base their liking just on those characteristics because they're secure in themselves. They can manage their life regardless of how you are. But what matters is that you know how to process your feelings and how to express your feelings in a way that helps you connect emotionally with a secure man. This is something I help women with. I help them get in touch with who they are and express themselves in a genuine, secure ways that attract quality men. There is so much more. This is just a small part of what I teach in my program. If you're interested to know what else you need to do to meet the one in 3 to 6 months, grab this completely free masterclass now. The link is down below. Subscribe to my channel if you want more useful tips on relationships. Ring the bell so you can get all my videos, and let's share this. Let's make this world a secure place for everybody.